Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming to you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Studio in Kent, Ohio on another lovely day. Yes, it's just another beautiful day in paradise. And we're coming to you in a real nice way. So we hope you come back at us just as nice as we're coming for you. You know, the first thing we need you to do is to go ahead and give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, give us an old thumbs up. And then go ahead and spread the word far and wide from sea to shining sea. Tell everybody about me. No, tell everybody about the Tubular Black Facts channel. Even better. Because we want everybody to be able to get a handle on the Tubular Black Facts channel. So let's get started with our poem, our proverb of the day. Proverb for the day is, okay, here we go here. And I just came out the garden, so this is perfect for me today. Snake at your feet, a stick at your hand. Snake at your feet, a stick at your hand. Now, does that need to be explained? I hope not. Just think about it for a minute. Snake at your feet, stick in your hand. Simple as that. All right, now, we're going to go ahead and continue on reading from our little booklet here. We don't have much to go. We just got a little ways to go. And a booklet about the 5 so-called Negro, can you see that there? Our 5 so-called Negro presidents. And we've already read about Jefferson, Warren G. Harding, read about Eisenhower. Who else? Jefferson, Eisenhower, Harding. Somebody else is missing. Oh, Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln. And now we're moving into the next phase. Someone who was not a president, but who is part of a segment that I call Black Men on the Money. And that's where these images that you're about to see right now come from. My segment called Black Men on the Money. And this brother here is definitely on the money. Matter of fact, the money that he's on is a U.S. $10 bill. So if you got a 10, pull it out right now and take a good look at the face on the $10 bill. Now, what I want you to notice is that he looks like somebody you might see on your local street. Maybe somebody by the name of Imp the Pimp, the ladies' man, somebody like that. Or what's that dude's name? What's his name? Oh, I know he's got Cat in his name. Can't think of his last name, no. Cat Williams, right? Cat Williams. Or even better yet, Al Sharpton. That's right. He got a perm in his head. I'm talking about the man on your $10 bill. Got a perm in his head. And the person we're talking about is none other than Alexander Hamilton. So when you wonder why is everybody all agog about Alexander Hamilton, or excuse me, Hamilton, the play, well, in the background, I don't know if it's in the foreground, if everybody realizes this, but Alexander Hamilton was black, and he was the first treasurer of the USA. So let's see what Joel Augustus Rogers had to say about Alexander Hamilton. Okay, now we're going to see some pictures in here too pretty soon of Alexander Hamilton. Now, right now, you're looking at what I see on the slideshow. What you will see on the slideshow right now is a picture of a man by the name of John Hanson. Now, there are a lot of people that have misconstrued, mischaracterized, confused this picture of this man with this picture with this man over here. This is John Hanson, the first president of the United States Congress, assembled under the Articles of Confederation from the 1700s. This is John Hanson, a senator in the first government of Liberia, West Africa, in 1856. Photography wasn't invented until the late 1800s. So therefore, there's no way you could have a photograph of this man looking like this man over here. So, in other words, if you actually you don't even have to be a historian to figure this out. You just have to do a little research on you have to know a little something, okay? Like for one, that photographs weren't taken back in this. That's why you don't see any photographs of George Washington. All you see are paintings of George Washington. That's why all we have of Thomas Jefferson are paintings of Thomas Jefferson, because they hadn't invented the camera or the photograph yet. But by 1856, it was in use. And that's why we have a photograph of this John Hanson of Liberia, West Africa. But enough said on that. I was actually looking for a picture of Alexander Hamilton. I don't see him right off the bat here, but he will be coming up here shortly. Let's see if I can dial him in. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, that's Jefferson. And here goes Hamilton on the current $10 bill. So this is the picture you'll see on today's $10 bill with Hamilton with a perm. But if you see some of the older pictures of the actual paintings of Alexander Hamilton, he does not have a perm. And a matter of fact, now see this one, that looks like a drawing. It might be a painting. I'm not sure if that's a painting or a drawing. But you see his hair looks just a little bit kinkier. And if you go back a little bit further, there goes another one. His hair looks even kinkier still. And these pictures, the kinkier his hair gets, the closer or the more contemporaneous is the painting, like this one over here. And in these, I think he looks a lot like, his hairstyle looks a lot like that of Frederick Douglass. This is how black folks often style their hair to make their hair look like white folks' hair, since the perm had not been invented yet. All right, so let's go ahead and read what J.A. Rogers had to say about Alexander Hamilton, and we'll keep scrolling right on through some of these images from our slideshow. Alexander Hamilton, another noted American whose ancestry has long been in dispute. He was a native of the Virgin Islands. And, native Virgin Islanders have insisted that he was black. Here goes another painting here. This is a famous one from Columbia University. And that's where he actually went to school at. White American authors have denied it most vociferously. Among Virgin Islanders who say he was is Hubert Harrison, George Challenger, and Reverend Charles D. Martin. The latter says that his mama, Rachel Fawcett, was a mixed blood. That white women, as in the other West Indian colonies, were very rare. Now that's something to keep in mind. He was born in the Virgin Islands, that's the Caribbean, and at that time, there were very few white women out there on those islands. They were not settler colonies. They were absentee landlord colonies. So they were set up, and then the owner would go back to France or wherever he was from. He'd go back there and they just send him the receipt, send him the money, okay, along with a ship with a ship full of rum. Ho ho ho, and a bottle of rum. West Indian colonies of Navis being especially so, and that was where his mother was from. That the first mothers of the colony were Negro slave women with the mulatto offspring of their white masters. As in the U.S., the white master had children with the mulatto women, and that their offspring came to be listed as white. That is, they were known as white by law in certain southern states of America. John Fawcett, grandfather of Rachel, was listed in the early census as having 4 black females. The surest proof that Hamilton was of Negro ancestry, says Reverend Martin, is that Hamilton's brother, James, same mother, same father, also migrated to the U.S., where he was treated as a Negro because of his color and his hair. James, who was a merchant, was once refused a seat in a Broadway coach because of his dark complexion and is suing the company for heavy damages, quotes Reverend Martin from a letter to the Times. In his article, Alexander Hamilton had Negro blood, end quote. He says the proof of this is not on the general belief that West Indians are of mixed blood, but in the statement of eyewitnesses who knew the boy before fame crowned the man. Reverend Martin adds that Hamilton's father was invited to the U.S., but not his mama, because her presence would have ruined his prospects. She loved her son Alexander too much. The failure would have been accepted, but the mother, with a noble mind and dark skin, would create as much trouble as a colored delegate at a white convention. Why does this thing keep coming up on here? I don't understand why it's doing that. Stop that. Okay. Her features were too pronounced. She was too typically Negro, or black if you want. That's quoted from Beth Tifila, August 1916. The spokesman, January, insists that he was of Negro extraction. The spokesman, January 1925, insists that he was, quote, of Negro extraction has never been successfully disputed. The statesman had Negro blood, his mother being a Negro woman, period, end quote. Maurice Davy, professor of sociology at Yale University, says, among notable Americans, the story persists that Alexander Hamilton, who was born on the island of Navis, was of Negro descent. Complete proof or disproof of this allegation is difficult since he was born out of wedlock. If Hamilton was not a Negro, he certainly brought 2 Negro sons into the world. One married a very light-colored white female and lived as white. This is from the book Negroes in America Society, page 391, 1949. Strongest in support of Hamilton as white was Gertrude Atherton, leading novelist. She had written 2 novels glorifying him, quote, The Hero and the Conqueror, end quote, both of which she claimed were his true and romantic story, end quote. Because of the insistent claim that he was a Negro, she decided to go to Navis to prove that both his parents were unmixed white. She went there to prove it. She said in the North American Review, volume 175, pages 227 to 242, 1902, I admire Booker T. Washington, and I wish the colored race all the success that it deserves, but inherited instincts are strongest in us, and both enthusiasm and imagination would shrivel were I obliged to accept as a fact that Hamilton had Negro blood in him. If Hamilton had colored blood, he would have had several coal-black descendants before this, such being the freakish law of nature. That's a quote. She thinks the belief that Hamilton was a Negro was because he was a West Indian, and in the United States, such are regarded as Negroes. Also, that there might have been another Alexander Hamilton of slave birth on the island. Gertrude Atherton herself was said to be of Negro ancestry. Oh, really? Mitchell Broadus, in his book on Hamilton, says that the statement he had Negro blood was without foundation. Hamilton's papers were burnt after his death. That's always an odd one. It is held that this was done in order to hide his alleged Negro strain. The real truth of Hamilton's ancestry, I think, can be found in the earliest and least known portrait of him. In this, he is seen with that kind of woolish hair common among light Negroes in the West Indies. There is also a certain fullness about the mouth that is somewhat Negroid. The portrait is by Peel. That was the one I showed you earlier. When taunted about his birth, Hamilton replied, "My blood is as good as those who plume themselves on their ancestry," end quote. This is interpreted by some writers as reference to his alleged Negro strain. Incidentally, another personage who was at first more important than Hamilton and even Washington, who was said to be of Negro ancestry, was Colonel George William Fairfax, cousin of the great Lord Fairfax. What? I don't remember that. Rupert Hughes says of him, Fairfax was probably said to be a Negro. He was born in the Bahamas, and his mother was popularly said to have been a dusky beauty. Dusky. Yeah, dusky. That means black again. Washington's brother Lawrence married Fairfax's sister. Life of George Washington, Volume 1, page 183, Volume 2, page 21, 1926. For extensive documentation and bibliography on the racial intermixture that has gone on in the U.S., see my book, Sex and Race, Volume 2, and Nature Knows No Color Line. Also, the Paths for White file in the West 135th Street Library, New York, New York. That's the Schomburg. The West 135th Street Library, that's the Schomburg. Oh, wow. The Pass for White file. You know, I never asked for that file. I'm going to have to put in a request. Find out what's in that file. The Pass for White file. Wow, now that's an interesting file, to say the least. Okay? And this is one of the problems with race in America, is that the attempt to attribute certain qualities or faculties to one group and not to another is full of holes. At one time, it was said that black people were inferior to white people in every way, including physically. And then along came Simone. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Simone Biles. Y'all been following her? She about to win. I think she's already won 7 world championships. So I think she's on the verge of winning her 8th. And she has no competition, they say. She's only competing with herself because there is nobody that's on her level. She keeps creating new moves that nobody else can do, but they don't want to score her. They don't want to give her a lot of points for that because they don't want to encourage the other gymnasts to follow her lead and try to do the stuff that she's doing because they feel like it's too dangerous. The other poor gymnasts are so fragile they might hurt themselves. Only Simone can do those moves. This harkens back to Satchel Paige. You know, the bobblehead in the movie, what's the name of that movie? With Ice Cube in it. Oh dang, I can't think of the name of it. Y'all know the movie I'm talking about though, where they're going somewhere, they're going on like a vacation, they're going out of town, and there's a little bobblehead on the front in the front of the car. That's Satchel Paige. When he got into major leagues, he came over from the Negro leagues. His pitches were so good nobody could hit him, so they had to outlaw a bunch of Satchel Paige's pitches because nobody could hit him. So they considered that to be unfair. Unfair that he had pitches nobody could hit. Right. And we can see this theme all through history. Why are we talking about this? We're talking about this because it's Juneteenth time, and we want y'all to jump for joy during Juneteenth time. Almost like Black History Month, where we go back and we do a little research. We talk about different things, different people of the past and of the present that are doing things, have done things, getting ready to do things. Yes, this month of June, it's going to be like Black History Month in the summer to a certain extent. But it's all focused on the date, June 19. Mark that on your calendars, June 19. We'll be talking more about June 19th. We'll have another special tomorrow. If you didn't see the special today, make sure you go back and see the special for today. It's called, it's in a file called Juneteenth. It's on a playlist on YouTube called Juneteenth 2021. And on there you can see recaps of what we did during the week. And you can also see some other videos about Black History Month, Lift Every Voice and Sing, and the origins of Juneteenth. Oh, excuse me. Today's had the origins of Memorial Day, because that's connected to us too. Tomorrow we'll be doing something similar, but we'll have a piece on there about the origins of Juneteenth. So look for that tomorrow. In the meantime, all you little children need to lay your little heads on your little pillows, on your little bed, close those your eyes, and wait for that sun to rise. And when you feel those sunbeams beaming down on your eyes, you know that it's time for you to rise and shine, because a new day is dawn and it's going to be divine if it's one of mine or one of yours, as a matter of fact. Don't let that day be your scourge. Make it yours. If you don't know what that means, you have to look up the word scourge. Scourge. In the meanwhile, all you adults out there, give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. Give us a thumbs up if you're looking at us on YouTube. Remember, YouTube is the only place you can see the entire presentation and complete with the images, the slideshow. But you can certainly get a lot just from listening to the Facebook presentation. And then, let's see, last but not least, make sure to become a sustaining member of the Black Facts family. How do you do that? Go to our website, blakfacts.org. That's where you'll find me. And even more importantly, at the very top in the right-hand corner, you'll find a button that says donate. Click it, donate, and do it on a recurring basis. Okay? In other words, $5 a month, $10 a month. You won't miss it, but we will greatly appreciate it. Thanks very much. This is Doc Ock at noon and 9 signing off. Peace out without a doubt, but with plenty of justice, because anything less disgusts us.